It's good. Yeah. So I said I'd be back for a top 10 films and books of the year. I don't know which one is films. We'll do films first because we're excited. And this is my buddy B, who you will recognise if you saw our first sentence challenge, and she's over for Christmas, and we thought we'd just chat about some films and books because that's always nice to do. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Without further ado, let's count down the top 10 films of 2016. At number 10, I've put Civil War. What did you think of Civil War, Beatrice?
I thought I was judgy at the time, I feel, but since
I remember.
seeing but since like thinking about, I haven't seen it again, but since thinking about it and also like looking up clips, I'm like, that was a good film, and also seeing other ones which I thought that I'd like a lot more, but just comparing it to that weren't as good. But then,
well, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like one of the better Marvel films of recent times. I just really liked all the performances. I thought they were all really good. I loved Spider-Man. That was a big excitement point for me, and I thought like the way they choreographed all the action scenes was really cool, as always.
I remember the objection I had to it at the time was the fact that it kind of felt like it was really good and building up to something, and then not a lot happened at the end. And I feel like I kind of still think that, but I think also like I've kind of like begun to think of, I guess, like the Marvel films, it's a different kind of structure to a normal film. It's kind of a bit like a TV series, which I kind of objected to at the time, but then it's kind of like enjoyable. But like,
they definitely have a formula, but if you enjoy that formula, it's usually good. At number 9, we have The Hateful Eight, which you didn't see.
I've not seen
So I'll just do a little blurb for this film. It's really good. I saw this in Leicester Square, and they did it really fancy, like, because they were doing it with like the actual film, like the strips. It wasn't
really
like digital, and it was really cool.
Get a little bit of the film.
Yeah, they cut a bit off for me.
Where is that?
Somewhere.
You've never shown me it.
It's somewhere.
Have you? She's lost it.
I haven't lost
She's
it.
lost it.
It's somewhere.
She's lost it.
But it was really good. I really, like, the pacing was a bit strange in the fact that, like, the first half, like, nothing happens compared to, like, the last half where, like, everything happens. But it's quite cool because you kind of get that build, and also
that's quite like lots of this film.
And also even though nothing's really happening, it's still obviously like visually stunning, and you know the dialogue is good and interesting, so it does build up. But I would say like it's worth watching just for the last act. If you start it and you're like, this is a bit boring, I might switch off. Don't. The last bit is the best part. At number 8, we have The Big Short. Did you see this?
No.
It's on Netflix. I really like this. It's about the 2008 housing crash, which does sound boring, I know. But the filmmaker, Adam McKay, like he found a way to get around that, and basically it's really interesting what they did. In scenes where they're explaining kind of the technicalities of like the economics behind it and the reason why the market crashed, they have someone, it's usually Ryan Gosling, so that's always a plus, who breaks the fourth wall and like explains it in kind of like dumb people terms. That sounds mean, but like honestly, like they explain it in a way that you can understand it, and it's really, they do it in a funny way, not like a condescending or patronizing way, and it makes it a lot more engaging and like interesting as a film. Number 7 is The Nice Guys,
which we're watching tonight.
Yeah, we're watching.
And on DVD, and we've both seen. Did we see it together?
No, because I remember I saw it with my dad, and he was complaining all the way through because the woman behind us was eating crisps. And she was eating, but she was eating them really loud. She didn't just have crisps, but she had like dip. So she was like, you could hear, she would pick up she would pick up the crisp, then you'd hear like the squelch of the dip, and then the crunch, like it was bad. And my dad was just like to me, why?
No, I really liked the film.
Really good.
I thought it was really funny, and I really liked the style.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I just remember really liking it. I can't really remember much, so I'm gonna.
I think like the basic plot.
It again.
Yeah, it's like this girl. She goes missing, and then there's a private detective like hired to find her, and then basically it's kind of about how that. I'm not gonna spoil it too much because the fun of watching it is finding out what happened. So number 6 for me was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now this was an experience. Like I really liked how they've completely altered the tone. Like, they're not trying to emulate Harry Potter at all, which I like. Like, they have references to it, which is, like, obviously what people are kind of looking for when they go into it. But they don't try and emulate that at all. It's very much an adult tone. You get to see, like, the adult wizarding world and how, like, the government and the politics of, like, the magical world work, and that's really interesting. And I think it has a lot of potential for, like, the next 4 films. I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
That's 4.
4.
I thought there was going to be 4 overall.
No, there's 4 more, so 5 overall. Yeah. And also Eddie Redmayne was really great. Yeah, Eddie Redmayne was really great. He really leads the film. Oh, we're halfway there. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were trying to sing a song from this, but I was like, I really don't remember that song.
Number 5 is Moana. Moana. I don't know why I said it like that.
I appreciated the crab.
Is that all you have to say?
It was a spectacular villain. Like, it was just... What was a villain?
Okay.
Yeah. It was a villain. In the end, it was the only villain because...
Yeah, fair enough. I really love Moana. I thought, like, the music was so good. Like, I knew it was going to be good because it's by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton, like, educate yourselves. But, like, between the Moana soundtrack and, like, the Hamilton soundtrack, I feel like he just owns my soul now.
I really liked the crab song.
Number 4 for me was All This Panic, which you didn't see, but you wanted to see. I think you know a bit about it.
Oh yeah,
it was really good. It was like a documentary following 7 girls across 3 years growing up in New York, and basically how their friendships and attitudes change over their like adolescent life. And it was really great. I cried because I feel like by the end, yeah, like you honestly, like you do feel like you know them, and they grow so much as people. Like in the beginning, some of it's kind of they're being a bit kind of like catty and bitchy, and they don't really know how to like handle each other. And then by the end, they're like, no, like we're gonna be friends. Like, oh, it was really sweet. Number 3 was Hunt for. No wait, fuck. Are we on number 3? Yeah, Hunt for the Wilder People, which is so good. Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know this.
No, it's so good. So basically, it's about this. It's set in New Zealand, and there's this kid called Ricky Baker. I did that.
Ricky Baker.
Ricky Baker. Who basically is like this foster home child, and has been like kind of shafted around from like home to home, and he finds a home with this couple, and the mum is really nice, really welcoming, and then the guy, like the dad figure, just doesn't want to speak to him, and it just kind of like doesn't talk to him and kind of avoids him, all of that. And then like the mum like suddenly dies, like at the very beginning of the film, so it's not a spoiler really. So then he's kind of left with this like guy who doesn't want to
spoiled.
Sorry, who doesn't want to talk to him. So it's kind of about how their relationship grows, but then he ends up running away, and then they end up in the wilderness together, and then people like go and hunt for them, and it's done in like a really tongue-in-cheek way. It's so funny. Number 2 was Sing Street, and I felt like I had to sing it, but number 2 was Sing Street. I saw this movie 3 times in the cinema. I took my dad, I took my mum, and I took you, because it was that good. It was, tell the people.
It was awesome. It's like, you said like School of Rock and stuff, but it was kind of like more than that.
Yeah, it was like School of Rock, but Irish and in the 80s.
It's kind of, they capture so much of like, when you're kind of like 13, 14 and kind of like think that you're really cool, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna start a band, and then there's a bit where they come out of like this room and they've just like done some band, like, you know, like got together and like, we're doing this, and it's just they all come out and it's like slow-mo and they're like and it's like literally like that's how I felt. I was like, I'm gonna be like an amazing singer, and I'm like, I can't sing for shit.
So it's like, there are so many elements to it. Like, one, the music, which is spot on, and like the actual original music is really good, and then they have the 80s soundtrack.
80s movies and like soundtracks and stuff just always feel nostalgic.
Yeah, and it's great.
It's even if you've never been in that
and
age. Then if you know what I mean, like it's
that's
like
what I felt with Stranger Things.
Like, it's become a kind of like, I guess, like a popular
because everyone kind of wants to be in the 80s.
It's just like,
so there's the music element, which is brilliant, and then there's like, he starts this main character Connor, he starts this band to impress this girl, so that there's kind of awkward, cute, romantic element. But then there's also like a big focus on his older brother, who's like kind of like guiding him, like showing him what music to play, and like kind of help him out with like his first kind of crush and all that. And it's kind of also really about like their family and their relationship, and and also like his friendship with like the guys in the band.
God, the different friends. I mean, the gingerhead curly-head one was my favourite.
There are just so many elements, and they're all executed like brilliantly, and they all just kind of mesh together to create this like perfect movie. And my number one movie of the whole year, drum roll.
I'm gonna do it. Oh wait, I could do a.
Nice.
Oh
fuck. You interrupted me.
Just stop.
Right, do it again. I, Daniel Blake. Thank you.
I haven't seen this.
It's amazing.
Take your advice.
It's hard to kind of review it because it's such a raw kind of hard film to watch, but I don't want to discourage people from watching it by saying it's really sad, but it is kind of a sad movie, and everyone should see, you know, and everyone should be talking about and all of that stuff. So it's basically about this guy, Daniel Blake, who has had a heart attack, so he can't go back to work. But the way that benefit systems work in Britain, you have to apply for benefits, but then you have another examination by someone from the benefits team to see if you're fit for work, and more often than not they deem someone fit for work who has not been deemed fit for work by their own GP.
Yeah.
So they have to appeal, but then the thing is, this appeal takes weeks. By the time, like, you know, this appeal can take like up to a year, at which point they're not receiving benefits, they can't work because they're not fit for work and they're appealing. But also, to get any kind of money, they have to be on job seekers allowance. So they have to prove that they're seeking jobs that they can't even accept if they get offered. It's a really messed up system, and that's what this film aims to highlight. And it does it really well, and it's really kind of heartbreaking. And you see it and you're just angry, like, and you should be angry. Like, that's the kind of feeling you should have. You should be sad but also angry. And I think it's a kind of film that like wants people, like, it makes people want to kind of take action, and I hope that's what people try and do. It was actually debated in Parliament, which is really interesting. So that's our list. Well, my list. You just came along for the ride.
And boy, was it a ride.
Was it?
Yes.
So that was my list for my top 10 of 2016. Please leave your faves of the year in the comments, and I will discuss with you there, because I like doing that. It's fun. And yeah, we're gonna go film a video now about books, so if you haven't watched that, if you watch this one first, go watch that one, because it'll be uploaded at the same time. So yeah, books. Happy 2017. It'll probably be 2017 by the time I upload this, because I'm slow at editing. So happy 2017.
Happy 2017.
And let's hope it's better than 2016, dear God.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bye!